Tell us about the effects of suppressing your emotions.
Okay, so some people I know, the reason why I'm even talking about it right now, get so good at suppressing their emotions. And they come to the point where they cannot feel anything anymore on a conscious level because the disconnect is so great. So they're almost like robots. It feels safe on a certain level, on the surface anyway, because they think, oh, I'm invincible, nothing can hurt me, so this is great. But it's not, because the disconnect creates a situation where that person can still feel things, but he chooses not to acknowledge them, and with time he actually loses the very possibility of feeling them. So they are happening, but there is no conscious recognition of it. Imagine it this way. Imagine if someone had a wound, let's say hurt his foot, and normally people go out and look what's going on and sort it out, obviously. But if that person, there is actually a medical condition when people can't feel physical pain, and it's really, really dangerous because they can actually hurt themselves or do something horrible without realizing it because they don't feel the pain. And this is what happens on the emotional level as well. So they go through their lives, they accumulate those traumas and sadness and quite often loneliness as well, because that emotional disconnect interferes with really connecting with people on a deep level as well. So all those negative emotions are now festering under the surface, and the conscious mind doesn't have access to them because it doesn't know that they're there. And obviously the subconscious mind does, but the subconscious mind, without the help of the conscious mind, can't really do much. So that person has now a condition where those negative emotions are poisoning him or her from the inside, but he doesn't know. So the process is going on and on and on and just destroying that person. And this is why you can see sometimes that a very calm, collected person that everybody knew as a very really peaceful individual and would never ever expect anything like that from him would suddenly explode, because the amount of pain that was being gathered inside comes to the point where that person can't suppress it anymore, because there is only so much energy you have to devote to that. And also there is so much energy going into suppressing that that is actually really taxing on the system in general. So you have less energy for other things, because as that pressure grows, you need more and more and more energy to keep that in place, to keep that suppressed. So this is why it's not a good investment of your energy.
Tell us about revealing the real you.
Okay. So we all have different masks. We tend to wear different masks. We are different with our family, we're different with our friends, we're different with our bosses or employees, and there are lots of different masks that we wear on the outside. They're like different interfaces that we interact through with other people. And as I said at the beginning, usually we project a certain image of ourselves that we ourselves find acceptable and show that to people as a better version of us, which is not, because this mask is simply a construction of our mind, and the mind, being a limited machine, can never come up with something even just as great or never greater than the true essence. So most people suppress the true essence because quite often it's not in line with the social norms or the social ideas of what the norm should be. Because again, when you think about it, every few decades, I'm not talking about centuries, even every few decades, what is normal is changing. So people keep chasing that and keep chasing more and more masks and creating new masks. So what happens is they suppress their real self, they suppress what they really feel, their emotions, and they go out and present that mask to other people. And other people, not having extended perception, believe that that mask is that person. So they interact with that person, they interact with that mask as if they were interacting with the person. So according to that mask, they either like or dislike them, they fall in love with them. And this is why so many relationships crash, because there are two masks and there are two people. And first the masks interact, but inevitably they will slip, because to contain such a mask, to keep it going, again, you need energy. And there's only so long you can keep it going. Essentially, you will get tired. So the mask will start cracking, it will start slipping, and then that person sees the person behind the mask. And they don't know who that person is. They've never met them, and they get shocked. And they feel lied to, sort of rightly, because they think, oh, it's not the person I thought it was. So how much easier would it be to actually show your real self right from the beginning and get the right person to like you as a friend, as a lover, as an employee, in any kind of social situation? You would find, if you go through the life as yourself, you will find it much easier to find the right people, the right niche to fit in, and to be just where you belong, to have the maximum influence on the world and on people around you, because there are people out there looking for the real you. You are needed in this world just the way you are. So everyone is here for a reason. And if we wear masks, we actually step away from that reason, and we lose our true path, and we lose the key to our true power. And this is why it's so important to look back and look inside and see what is happening to our emotions. They are there for a reason. They are there to guide us, to show us what is right or wrong beyond the level of the conscious mind. And unfortunately, our highly mentalistic society tries to, and succeeds in many cases, to brainwash people out of that, not to trust their gut, not to go with their feelings. And this is why so many people, one of the reasons why so many people are unhappy on a very deep level, even if on the mental level everything is perfect according to the society. So many people actually secretly suffer because they've never addressed that deep emotional level that they have, and they've never purified it. Because once purified, it's not a source of problems anymore. Once purified, it acts as a compass and it navigates you through life. And in many cases, it's much more accurate and infallible than the conscious mind, because the conscious mind is easily distracted by the bling, by the ideas, by the social concepts, and the subconscious mind, the emotional mind, stays true to inner essence. So this is why it's so important to make it your ally instead of trying to shut it down or look away from it. Have you noticed anything similar in your life? If yes, please do leave a comment under this video and I will reply to you personally. Stay on your path and see you soon.
Groovy.